Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. This video is going up just hours before the start of 2026 here on the East Coast of the United States, so I figured now might be a nice time for some reflection. It's easy content to just kind of hand out end of the year sports awards like it's the ESPYs or something, but I'm going to put kind of an obscure twist on it. Here is the best and the very worst of sports in 2025. See you next year. Biggest shock: the Luka Doncic trade. The Luka Doncic trade occurred over the weekend before the Super Bowl last year. A weekend in which I had the flu, and for about 3 days did nothing but sleep, drink Gatorade, throw up, and have crazy fever dreams. I fully lost track of time, and when I woke up and checked my phone on that fateful night/morning, I figured I was in the middle of another fever dream. I think a lot of people thought they were in something similar because Shams famously had to clarify that his report was not a joke, and Luka Doncic had in fact been traded for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick to the LA Lakers. This trade will never be able to be explained in logical trade terms. Hopefully someday one side will just come forward and say what we've all assumed: Nico Harrison didn't really like Luka Doncic. It fully reset the franchise trajectory of the Lakers, who were barreling towards irrelevance post-LeBron. It's launched a million conspiracy theories since the Mavs somehow ended up with the number one pick as a result of the trade. Nico got fired, and the NBA world must live with it and move on. It'll be a long time before we see anything like it, I'd imagine. Best sports moment: the World Series. Obviously for me, it's the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and subsequent parade, but I know that's not for everybody. This is kind of a cliche category, I won't even lie, but this answer is actually a layup. It's the 2025 World Series, perhaps the greatest World Series ever. It might rub people the wrong way that the friggin' Dodgers brought it home, but alas, the Marathon Game 3 and the nail-biter Game 6 and 7, with moments and performances never before seen, cemented this as an all-time classic championship competition. Put it up there with the best Super Bowls, Masters, Wimbledons, NBA Finals, all of it. I think a telltale sign of a great championship series is how many legends are made over the course of it. Obviously, Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Vlad Guerrero were all certified, but think about what this series did for Yoshi Yamamoto and Ernie Clement. Those guys are forever postseason legends in perhaps the best postseason sport. Most insufferable storyline: America killing soccer. Yikes, where to even begin with this one? I mean, I could just hand this to the institution of sports gambling for all the scandals and controversy it's caused in the past years. It's gotten more widespread, but I don't think I'm going to do that. For this category, I want something where every time it got updated, I felt worse about myself for knowing it. So I'll go with this more recent storyline that's been building for the past few years, and that is the United States attempting to kill the sport of soccer. I can't even lie, man. When it comes to soccer, I'm basically a communist. To me, it's the people's game. It requires so little. It's such an artistic game, it should cost nothing to play and nothing to view. The Club World Cup, held over the summer, was an embarrassment of a competition, as it needlessly extended the already way too long European soccer season. Although FIFA termed it as the first Club World Cup, it's been going on forever just during the European soccer season. It meant nothing, it still means nothing, whatever. Now, in the summer, the US will host the real World Cup. They've already announced that there will be 3-minute hydration breaks for every game, which practically makes a little sense, but is really just a way to stick some commercials in the game and kill the flow of every game. Obviously, the group drawing was the most embarrassing sports-related event of the decade, bar none. 48 teams is clearly way too many for the tournament. 32 was perfect, no one complained. And of course, tickets are astronomically expensive. It's all very sad and dystopian. Okay, now for a more lighthearted superlative. Best hate watch: Duke Gags versus Houston in the Final Four. There will be people out there that might say Super Bowl 59 goes into this category, and I understand that. People really did hate the Chiefs. But real Duke Blue Devils hatred still exists and must be recognized on this list, especially when Duke blows a 6-point lead with under 50 seconds to go in the Final Four versus Houston, and nobody should forget about it. It's even more incredible looking back and seeing how great Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple have already been in the NBA. I actually grew up a Duke guy, and quickly changed allegiances when I went to college at an ACC rival. I have to tell you, the hate watch side of things has been very good to me, because the deeper they go in the tournament, the better the payoff is in the form of heartbreak. Yes, this is some schadenfreude, yes, it's a little mean, but it's Duke. It was awesome watching them forget how to inbound the ball and rebound. Least ethical team: Oklahoma City Thunder. They foul constantly on the defensive end. They foul bait constantly on the offensive end. Yes, they're the best team in the league and defending champions. They still lack ethics. Most ethical team, Paris Saint-Germain. Off the field, the way they do business, not so ethical. On the field, they play beautiful soccer in a world where there is increasingly less beautiful soccer. Most baffling player, Bo Nix. I've had a lot to say about Bo Nix in 2025. I'm just going to settle on the take that he's baffling, and I'm not even sure that he's noticeably better than last year. He does make some good plays. Sometimes I'll look up and see him make a nice play and think, hey, maybe he's just becoming a very good quarterback. And then he might go 3 quarters without a good throw. He's only in his second year, but I struggle to understand him or even find a good comparison for his game. How about something to leave in 2025? Let's do Achilles injuries. It's a little idealistic. I have no control over this, no idea how to stop all these torn Achilles, no expertise. I just wish the most exciting playoff run of the decade in the NBA had not been brought to a screeching halt in Game 7 of the NBA Finals by a torn Achilles. I figured this deserved mention as maybe the defining moment in sports this year, certainly the defining injury. Sadly, Achilles injuries are kind of a good argument for load management. I'm not a big fan of load management, but the Halliburton, Tatum, Lillard, and Kyrie injuries are warnings of this trend, and I hope teams are taking notice across all of sports. Something I hope we get in 2026 is some semblance of control in college football. I'm not one for mass control when it comes to sports, I'll just say that outright. But in the era of NIL, 12-team playoff, transfer portal, and now incoming pay-to-play, we've just reached a peak level of insanity in college football. Think about when Nico Iamaleava left Tennessee. Think about the massive buyouts and coach firings. Think about Lane Kiffin jumping ship. With the playoffs in full swing, I think it's fair to say the product has suffered to a degree in the regular season. The reality is this: college football probably needs a commissioner, and therefore contracts for players, and therefore a union. And how about we put the transfer portal at a reasonable time based on the football season and not class scheduling? Hey man, I hate that college football is leaving all the other NCAA sports behind too, but that train left the station a long time ago. All these changes probably won't occur in 2026, but we need to see steps in the right direction. Or else what? An Indiana fan might ask, as someone who has undoubtedly benefited from the insanity of the past few years. I don't know the answer to that or else question. I just want one of the most important sports in this country to be able to run smoothly and not be defined by constant backdooring and general greed among those in power. I think that's a good message to end 2025 on. Here's to a better 2026, everybody. I'll see you in the new year.